Dun 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 dun. Yes, I watched The Batman last night. It was amazing. It was quite an amazing movie. To me, I think this was like a true Detective Comics Batman that I've been wanting to see in many Batman films. And while previous Batman films did really portray, a detective Batman, it's only bits and pieces. Like this movie done by Matt Reeves, I feel that it was a true Detective Comics Batman with a touch of, film noir and really some throwback moments of even the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. Particularly like I felt that there were some throwback moments to the Batman Begins. And towards the end of the movie, there's even like a moment that reminded me of even The Dark Knight Rises. So it was great in that sense of just paying respect and almost homage to the previous Nolan films, while at the same time transforming something so unique that it stays true to, or at least as accurate as possible to, the Dark Knight Detective Comics Batman. And I was really loving the whole murder mystery type of drive of the story, because it puts Batman to be in a position to be the world's greatest detective that he's portrayed in the comics. Now, the last Batman comic that I read was Year One, and that was like several years ago, probably like whenever that came out. I'll have to look it up, but whenever that comic came out, I'd say like 1 or 2 years after it came out, that's probably the last time I actually read a Batman comic, which was Year One. And I didn't really want to spoil my experience of watching the movie by reading other literature of Batman or watching trailers of the movie. I wanted to just watch the movie trailer one time, and that's it. Try to avoid all potential spoilers, all movie reviews. It was so difficult and so tempting to see on my YouTube page, homepage, Batman review, non-spoiler. Even though it was a non-spoiler, I wanted to avoid it. You got to be very careful when you watch trailers, because it can potentially ruin your movie experience. So, you really do want to be selective on how often you watch a trailer, and not to watch it too many times, because that can ruin your experience in the movie. So that's just my thing. I'm sure you audience members out there may approach it differently, but hey, that's fine. The Riddler. I mean, I was hearing just before even watching the movie, like standing in line trying to get my snack and drink. Yeah, this is as like I was having like just a random conversation with someone in the line that this is a Zodiac Killer vibes. And I've only watched the Zodiac Killer movie maybe one time back when it first came out, which was a long time ago. And so I could understand that comparison, and I'd say there's inspiration from that, but I think it still was its own unique thing, where it still pays respect to the previous Batman films, but becomes so transformative to where it's its own unique movie. And I do love the Batman. Robert Pattinson, I was really surprised that he was selected to play this role of Batman. I wasn't really so sure what to expect. I mean, him being in Twilight, of him sparkling as a vampire, I just can't really get that image out of my head. So it's just a forever curse in my head that I have to live with, all because of watching a Twilight movie with friends way back when. But besides that inside joke, I was really satisfied with his portrayal of Batman. It was really good stuff. I actually enjoyed him portraying Batman. I do feel that I think there were certain moments where he might have underperformed as Bruce Wayne, but it's really difficult to criticize that because this movie was really about Batman. Like, Batman is the true drive of the story. He's the one driving the story because of this whole murder mystery that he has to take on to find the Riddler and hopefully to prevent him from killing anybody else. But then, towards the end of the movie, there was a greater plot, a greater twist, which, of course, I don't want to spoil it. If you want me to do a spoiler review, feel free to comment down below. I'd be happy to do one. The more views this gets, the more motivated I'll continue on doing non-spoilers and spoilers. And then I do want to say that the music, the score, there were certain moments that were even a throwback to Batman Returns, especially with moments with Batman and Catwoman. When they would have their scenes, there was almost like certain music scores within them that reminded you of Batman Returns, and it was just so awesome. It was like, oh, whoa, that's like Batman Returns. Oh my god. I remember watching Batman Returns when I was like, I think I was 6 or 7. Don't quite remember. That was a long time ago, of course. But it just, it really had a throwback moment of those moments. And then Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I mean, I knew he was going to, play the Penguin when it was announced, so it was not a surprise, but, his his makeup and costume design, you would have never known it was Colin Farrell unless someone told you or if you looked at the credits. And I don't care what anybody says, I loved him as Bullseye from the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. So, but that's another discussion, of course. And it was true. It was a true Detective Comics Batman, and I enjoyed it. I had a great experience. Is this better than The Dark Knight or any of the Christopher Nolan films? Honestly, I cannot compare them, because to me, this movie of Batman is a whole different beast. While it gives you those throwback moments of those previous Batman films, it is a whole new beast. I cannot compare the two. Those movies and this movie, they really belong in their own species of films, because this Batman movie done by Matt Reeves is really like the Detective Comics Batman that I've really have wanted to see for a long time, and my wish has been fulfilled. And so, despite what has happened in these 2020s, honestly, it's an awesome time to be alive. That a lot of things that were almost impossible or barely possible to make 10, 20, or 30 years ago is now becoming more of a reality. Now, with the advancements of technology blended into filmmaking, and just how social media also plays a role of any kind of hype or any kind of coverage of any kind of comic book character, to me it is now a greater reality to have stronger adaptations of comic book films. And not just comic book films, even like novels that go back many decades or even a century. And so it's a beautiful time to be alive, despite what the 2020s have brought us. Anyway, if you enjoyed my review, my commentary, and my overall thoughts, make sure you like the video, subscribe, so you can join me on my journey to have 1,000 subscribers. And then maybe one day, 1 year, I can have 1 million subscribers. And of course, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this Batman film. Until next time, same Handsome King content, same Nerdy Bear Review.